Hey Stampers, welcome to Brandy's Cards. So I have a card that I designed for my Blooms and Butterflies color challenge. So what is Blooms and Butterflies and what is a color challenge, right? Well, Blooms and Butterflies, my team of Stampin' Up demonstrators that have joined Stampin' Up, and they're on my team. And I just get so excited to share their work and encourage them to grow and color and design and that sort of thing. And so my blooms are my hobbyist demonstrators that are just buying the product, supporting their own habit, if you will, and they're just loving to be a part of it, and they're creating projects and sharing them with others. And my butterflies, as you can see, I love blooms and I love butterflies. If you're new to my channel, you'll see a lot of those. And so my butterflies are sharing the Stampin' Up products, and they are flying and they're out there doing workshops and stamp camps and parties and things like that. So that's how my team name came about. Color challenge, what is that? Well, color challenge is for everybody on my team. And so I give them 3 colors a month, sometimes 4. This one was 4. And they just need to take those colors that were given in the challenge, and they can use black ink and Whisper White or Very Vanilla cardstock. So that's in addition to the colors that were given. So this month the colors are Old Olive, Tempting Turquoise, Real Red, and Basic Black. Now you can use those cardstock colors or you can use the ink colors. It really doesn't matter. So it's just a fun way to really grow and color and design. Now what we do is anybody who wants to participate, they take those colors, they make a card, and then we share those cards amongst each other for inspiration. And so, everybody uses different stamp sets and things like that. And then you just kind of see how everybody's doing and what they come up with. Because what I come up with for these colors might not be what you come up with. So it's just a really fun way to get ideas and inspiration. So today's card was my design for the challenge. So there's Tempting Turquoise, there's Old Olive, and there's your Real Red. And I loved how the butterfly is tied in here in the center. I just thought that was really super cool. I'm excited to show you the stamp set that I used to make the textures. And then down here is the sentiment. And I just really, really liked that as well. So that is the sentiment. So let's go over here and take a look at the stamp set that I used. This one is called Timeless Textures. And let's see here. I used this one, which is kind of the wood design, and that one is for the Tempting Turquoise. And then for the Old Olive, I used kind of this one here at the top. And then for the Real Red, I used this grid pattern here at the bottom. So I just thought it was really fun. Now you could pick any of these textures, but those are just what I selected. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I've done enough chit-chatting for you, so let's get started. So here is my Tempting Turquoise, and I have my Tempting Turquoise ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp, this pattern all the way across. And I will tell you that I did not mind layering on top of each other. I didn't try to make it so that the layers didn't, because I liked the darks and the lights, so I liked that. Now let's stamp a second one. And the reason that we're stamping a second one is because we have to punch our butterfly out. But if you didn't want to use more cardstock, that's okay. You could literally punch the butterfly right out of the center of the piece that you're already using. So that is an option. Here is the Old Olive piece. And there's my little pattern for the Old Olive. And I'm kind of doing it on an angle all the way across. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I didn't really want that straight up and down look. I wanted it to kind of be, be kind of an interesting pattern. So I've just sort of turned my cardstock and I'm going back the other direction. There we go. That's a fun pattern. And again, let's just do another piece of Old Olive, just so that I have a place to punch out my butterfly. All right, let's move on to Real Red. Now the Real Red here is this kind of, grid, if you will. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Now you could leave it just like this, or you could go back the other direction. You know, I liked them both, but I'm gonna just go back the other way because I do really like the way that that looks. So I just going back the other way with the real red. Now I'm gonna do one more piece because remember we need at least 2 so that we can punch out our butterfly. There we go, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and punch out our butterfly. So here's the itty bitty, the little butterfly, and you gotta make sure you grab the right piece. Let's start with our Tempting Turquoise. So we have Tempting Turquoise, we have our real red piece, little butterfly, he's so cute, punch him out. And then we have Old Olive, punch it out, perfect. All right, so now that I have my butterflies and I have my stamped backgrounds, I'm gonna just go ahead and pick everything up really quick. Sometimes I find that it's fairly distracting if I have this on my workstation when I'm trying to show you how the card's put together. So I'm just gonna go ahead and flip that over, and I suppose I could put it the right way. There we go. So now it's just a clean space to work on. It's a little bit easier to see, I think. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Now, if you're new to Brandy's Cards, welcome. And if you're not new, thank you for coming back and checking out my new project today. And if you're looking for the sizes and the dimensions, you're not going to find it here on my YouTube channel. You actually have to go over to brandyscards.com. In the navigational bar, there'll be there's the word videos. Just click on the word videos and all of my videos will come up. You're going to see a picture of this card and then you click on that and then you'll have the entire written tutorial. Of course, you can go in the search bar as well and you can type in timeless textures or floral phrases, because this is the stamp set that we used for the sentiment. And the sentiment is right here, a special note of thanks to you. So I thought that was real pretty to put along the bottom. All right, so are you ready to see how I put this card together? So it's probably, you know, I've done this several different ways, and it's, you know, this is the way that I think that works the best for me, but you might find another way, okay? So the way that I do it is I would take your Tempting Turquoise and put some of your Tombow adhesive on the back. And so I'm gonna say, start with your Tempting Turquoise and lay that down first. And you want it about just over 1/2 inch from the top of your card. Okay, do you see that? It's about 1/2 inch. Now, if yours is 3/4 inch, it's not gonna hurt anything. You know, it just gets a little bit tighter at the bottom, but you do have a little bit of wiggle room. So now 1 inch is way too much, but probably 1/2 inch is perfect, okay? So that piece is great. Now this Whisper White piece is actually the piece that you can see here is flush right here to the Tempting Turquoise, and it's also flush to the real red at the bottom. So this is how I found it, easiest way to do it, is just go ahead and put a little bit of Tombow glue here at the top of your Whisper White cardstock, and then center it in your card and adhere it to the top of that Tempting Turquoise piece. So now it's flush, it's centered, and now you kind of have, you know, you kind of have your template or how your what to work with, okay? So that works great. Now the very bottom is your real red, and so I would suggest working on that piece next. And so remember, we only glued the top of this Whisper White piece, so now it kind of pulls up. And you can kind of take it underneath here, set it down, and kind of push it into place. Now remember, we want it flush with this bottom piece so you don't see the real red, and that works perfectly. See that? So that was pretty easy. Now the easiest one is obviously Old Olive, because he just sticks right in the middle. And then you can just center it and you're good to go. So let me tell you, the first couple ways that I tried, they weren't as easy as this way. So this way worked pretty well for me. And I think it will you too. So, and then see, I just put the Old Olive right there in the middle, centered it, and wham kabammo, we're all set there. So that worked out great. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of Tombow here in the center of my Old Olive and my real red, and I'm gonna just adhere that piece down. So the base is done. Now we have our next piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to take 5 Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to put them 1 in each corner, and I'm going to put 1 in the middle, because I definitely want to make sure that my middle is not saggy, because I have a butterfly going in the middle. I'm just going to center this piece on top of my card. Perfect. And now I'm going to add my butterflies. So let's start out with our Tempting Turquoise. I have Stampin' Up! Mini glue dots. I find those are the easiest. Kind of leaves my wings, you know, leaves the wings free. So we're going to stick, oh, doesn't that look fantastic? Just putting that butterfly right there in the center of that turquoise looks great. All right, and so there's my Old Olive butterfly. And we'll stick him right here in the center. And then we have a real red butterfly. And we're gonna stick that one right there. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so now I thought, well, I wanted to add a little bit of an embellishment to this card, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And then I remembered, you know, I've been using those enamel, metallic enamel dots a lot, the silver and the gold. Yes, I love those. But we also have our Bold Bright and our subtles and our neutral dots as well. So I pulled those out and I thought, okay, that would be great. These are bold colors, so the bold dots would be perfect. So this is what I did, is I pulled my Tempting Turquoise dot, and I'm gonna put it right there, so that looks great. And then we'll put the Old Olive one here. Awesome. Oh, I don't have a red one. Yes, it's exactly what I did. I was like, what am I gonna do? I just love it. So what I ended up doing was I found a Sharpie. I went to a drawer and I went digging and I found a red Sharpie. And I thought, you know, I could probably color orange or a pink one with a red Sharpie, just right on top of the little dot, and it would work perfectly. Now I didn't know for sure if it was gonna work, but I felt like, you know, it's red and the cardstock's red, so how bad could it be? We'll just give it a try. And it worked, and I was super excited. So look at this. When you set it down, oh my gosh, that was great. So we just improvised and it worked. It doesn't always work out that way, but when it does, it's pretty exciting. So anyway, that's how I came up with the real red dot. So now I've got basic black, and I have the Old Olive marker. I'm gonna go ahead and just color my words that I want in basic black, and then to you, dot, dot, dot. And then I'm gonna use my Old Olive and color the thanks. The reason that I'm not using a stamp pad, of course, is because I want the thanks to be in green or an Old Olive. I have a little strip here, and we're gonna stamp it straight down and straight up, and it turned out great. Now I do recommend being a little careful. For some reason I find when I stamp them on these little strips, and you know, I don't really have any place to pick it up, sometimes I smudge it. So just, you know, give it a few seconds to dry, or just be careful when you pick it up. So I put my Tombow on the back, and then all I'm gonna do is just center it right here in this white space at the bottom, which is about 1 inch wide. And there you go. It is all done. Oh my gosh, I love this card. I struggled with these colors. They were tough. But you know, after you kind of pull it together and you see it and you're like, wow, that's pretty neat. So if you'd like, you can go over to brandyscards.com, and I do have a color challenge post dedicated to my team. These are the colors that they used. They picked various stamp sets. There's no winner. Everybody does a fantastic job. It's more about ideas and inspiration. It's about sharing and enjoying the love of paper crafting together. So make sure you go over there and visit that post and see all the different cards. And of course, if it's highlighted, then that means one of my team members has a website, and they're actively selling Stampin' Up! Or sharing their projects. So feel free to click on that and go visit their website and find some more inspiration and ideas. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed today's project. And you know, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for your business and for supporting Brandy's Cards. And stay in touch, and I hope you have a blessed day.